choice ahead, light and dark. Which door interests us more? I know it's just an aliasing issue, but I can't help but look into the shadows and think that there's someone in there moving out of the way of a light source. Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Gary's Mod. And today, the map we're going to be exploring is GM Lonely Places. An exploration map which is pretty interesting, simply in its lack of context, or rather, the context for the lack of context. See, unlike a lot of other exploration maps, it doesn't describe a particular mood that it's trying to get across. It doesn't even come up with a basic backstory to cover this. It's simply a creator saying, yeah, I was messing around with this, had it on my hard drive, and wanted to release it. Having that level of casual, relatable dialogue on the Steam page with the creator of something that on its face seems so important, like I could read into it endlessly, kind of adds to the sort of inviting nature of it. And I am loving these early morning vibes right here, these fingers of light reaching across the room. And up here, we've got a choice to make. Or potentially not. Oh, yep, no. We can come through here. Did I just hear something? Oh no, it's the water dripping. It's like being in a sewer system that was never used, filled, but never tarnished. Okay, well, obviously we have to go see what's in the dark room. Always a path. How deep is this? That's the question. That is so weird. Dude, we were underwater right until the moment we fell through an air gap into more water. Okay, I guess the choice has been made for me. I suspected that it would be deeper than it looked. I didn't expect it would be like this. Well done. Well done. Yep. I don't think I'm in Kansas anymore. Or New York, whatever the case may be. Get back here, footsteps. I need you. Locked. Locked. Which means you are not allowed to be locked. There we go. Ooh. This is cool. It looked like a dark, dingy apartment. And just below the surface is rusted, burnt metal. Getting us back to here. And earning our freedom. What a sudden transition from terror to eeriness to peace. It's like being in the courtyard of a monastery. There's even a little bench beside the pond, a tree growing over it. You know, the map may be presented without intention, but there may be intention even in the title, Lonely Places. I don't know, maybe there was some sort of inspiration to make this. Let's have a look around. Oh my god. I think it's a plant. I think it's a plant. It is. The doorway is totally sealed. I just got jump scared by a plant again. Sorry, never mind. Well, these stairs may be janky looking, but at least they're properly clipped. So there's always that. Up and over and over again. But not a door to be found. Each one. Sooner or later, we've got to reach something, right? In fact, maybe this even brings us back to where we fell from. Ugh, this is making me really dizzy. I'm trying not to tangle the index cable, so I'm just sort of moving forward and to the right on the stick. Basically to keep pace with this curve. Well, there's something we can try. We're in the back of a shipping container. Does it open? That is so cool. The deck of a cargo ship at sea at night. You never know that we just stepped out of there. I am loving the abrupt transitions here. I mean, you seriously never know what you're going to be doing even 30 seconds from now. Let's see if we can make it to the bridge. Nope, I don't think we're getting up there. I think our best bet is going to be to head through where the lights show us and see which of these can open. Perhaps you at the end there? Nope. Nope. Maybe this was just a little taste of something. I mean, the value on this apartment must be huge, right? For the square footage alone? See, this is the kind of thing I love the most, and it really is a great exercise when you're given the tools to create worlds as easily as Hammer allows you to do. It's so cool to just do anything, just whatever idea comes to mind. There's a doorway there, I can put something there. Why not a cargo ship? It's something that didn't exist before, and with a snap of my fingers, I can make it happen. Or rather, with like an hour or so of brushwork. Ooh. Whimsical and grim. This map's gonna run the full gamut, huh? Well, it shows us that there's not nothing behind these bricked doorways. We can enter here. At this point, we've been climbing the staircase for so long, it kind of feels like we might have even surpassed where we began. Back to school at night. You know, there's a real great sense for the lighting here. Like, if this map does one thing outstandingly, it's making it feel in one room like it's sunset on a nice day. You can practically smell the plants growing out of the pots. Straight to a musty, dusty old building that we have bad memories associated with, just by turning up the whiteness and the harshness of the lights. Speaking of harsh, look at that. A doorway we can walk towards but never fully enter. Right in the back of a classroom. I think one of my favorite settings has to be school at night. Totally empty. A familiar place, but without any of the responsibilities and, honestly, annoyance that would be associated with it. It's something you can play for creepy or comfy to your heart's content, or even run back and forth and play with that a little bit. In that case, it feels almost like a dream about a classroom. You're there, you're not sure what you're still doing there. Maybe you're trying to leave or get some kind of late assignment done. And then you open that door in the back that you could swear you've always been aware of, but that you've never decided to look at. And just like that, we've reached the top of the stairs. So what's down the narrow, shadowy hallway? Look at this. This is so cool. It's like being on city streets in 1890. Until you look up and realize that what's down here repeats up there. No windows, no nothing. Wait! Oh my god. Thank you, buddy. Videos always perform better when I have the flashing lights and jump scares warning, and you just gave me the end. Just wish you didn't have to sacrifice your life to do it. Look at you doing a glamour pose. I'm not sure you're really dead. This is... What? Look at this. What is going on here? It's like we're going back and forth between 1500s Italy and 1800s London. But now we're still... Wait, how do I get back? Oh. Look at that! A hard transition between two similar in aesthetic, but very, very different in mood areas. So if we touch the wall again... No. Now I can't seem to get back. Wait. It's the car. It's the car that transports us just instantly. Dude, this map is so cool. This thing was presented so modestly, but honestly, it is really creative. And that's the thing, like, so many times I get recommended liminal space maps, and I pass over most of them these days, simply because I don't really think I'm gonna have much to talk about. I mean, how much more can I say about Liminal Hotel or various Backrooms maps? But you can take that concept and apply it to endless different aesthetics, and you can fill those aesthetics with endless different scripted events and Easter eggs. And just little moments of weirdness. It sort of reminds me of LSD Dream Emulator. I mean, a lot of things do. But that was a game that wasn't just about exploring all these weird places. I mean, that's most of what it was. But it was also about the things you'd see there, the things you'd encounter. Not necessarily wanting anything from you as the player gameplay-wise, but just there for you to experience. And to derive your own meaning, just as we walk onto the classic blue tile pool rooms. Listen, there's no ambiance whatsoever here. Well, except for the occasional dripping water, but the rumble, the wind is gone. Because here's a place where we make our own ambiance. That being the splash of our legs as we wade through the water, waist high. Okay, which way do we go first? Because I've been dragged in a lot of different ways and haven't really had time to focus on much of anything. Just another day at the office, huh? I see the renovations are still underway. You're blinding me as I round the corner. That would be a great spot for something there to jump scare me. You again. Another car. I wonder if you also act as a transition? Look, you're partway through the wall, but with no indication of damage. Like your matter just phased through matter. Still, this one seems to be at the end of its road. Look at that. It's like you were sailing through the space-time continuum, happened to hit a speed bump, and you were rejected at full speed. And there you've sat for quite some time. This map seemed really lighthearted at first, but it took a turn into the creepy pretty quickly, didn't it? Hang on. There was just something telling me to go all the way to the end in case there was a trigger there. back hallways with computer screens. This whole place gives the impression of being where the people in the walls secretly control everything. And it's another ladder. Alright, let's go back the other way. I'm having to make all kinds of choices here. It seems like every new area splits off into two. Oops. Uneven ground to walk in. Stuff like this always reminds me of a certain thing towards the end of the movie Stalker. Oh, this is bad. It's claustrophobic. It feels like tetanus. In other words, it makes me feel like if I touch the sides, something bad's gonna happen. There's an ominous red glow that seems to come from nowhere in particular. And we've seen how hostile this place can be from the several corpses that are scattered around. This seems like it could exit in several places. An alleyway at night. A marketplace that could be alive with people by day, but no. There's nothing but graffiti and shutters and a linear path, making sure there's nowhere to run if you end up running into trouble. And you know what's weird is I'm not sure if I've ever actually seen a place like this in real life, yet it's somehow nostalgic. I swear some of these maps give me false memories. Has all of this been the office and this is just our commute to our desk? Well, you know the drill. We gotta press ourselves against the wall and slowly slide down the aisles to try and see if there's anything hiding between them. Look at this. It almost makes it feel like the boss sits up here and issues decrees to all the peons working below. I mean, most offices have a setup that is, in spirit, similar to this, but it's not usually this overt. No, they all have that one glass room with the blinds. Seeing that red glow again. You there! Noam Chomsky, I should have known you were behind everything. So we have to approach, right? That's really all. Suppose my paranoia is my own. Alright, come on, you. You just sit right here and think about what you've done. I made you so much worse. Now you look like you've been waiting for me. And the next person who comes here is going to have a start. And I know I'm not the only one to ever end up here. The only one to survive, maybe. We've worked our way back around in a circle. Well, obviously I want to ride the red hallway again. Where was it? That was this way? Right here. Gonna make me crouch for it. Look at that. It's like a stage, like it's a small concert venue or something, but it's made out of the same metallic edge as the shipping containers. Or at least I think it is. Look at that. It's like it's hidden on GM Construct or something. It's even got those sloped ceiling tiles. I guess this place needs the acoustics. Well, let's peek behind the curtain then. Okay, I can see the bottom. I have a little bit of fear of bottomless water after how we were introduced to this world. We've got a Metal Gear Solid 3 ladder. And here I am. I always love how in VR especially, Source Engine ladders will just launch you to the top. Man, the bars on windows are massive in this map. Look at that. We can sort of see the end of the hallway, but we can't focus on it because it's absolutely blinding us in this direction. This room looks familiar. It's a view I've seen before, but a long time ago. It's a bit of an old view. But that doesn't appear to be what you were going for. However, a opposite hallway. Hello? With the same sort of transition. But it is all one place. That is so cool. So many maps have utilized changing viewpoints and having things be altered when you look away, or even just having straight up teleports, but this, it manages to kind of mind bend you a little bit just in its own physical space. And we're not done yet. Oh no, we are not done yet. Through here, one hopes. One asks, one does not necessarily receive. We're laddering it up again, but we're still in the same place. What is this, the obstacle course from the beginning of every 2000s video game? The liminal obstacle course, wow. That is more than a crouch, that's practically a crawl. You know, I'm pretty sure Gary's mod only has 2 states, standing and crouching. So it's really weird for it to be so low that we're able to do this. Wait, what? And once more, this map is a map of polar opposites. This unassuming little cutout in a concrete alley leads straight out into, after our experience, what may as well be paradise. And yet the howl of the wind is so ominous and foreboding. Not a chirp of a bird to be heard. Word. That's absurd. Okay, I'm not going to keep doing that, but it was fun while it lasted. Of Of course, everybody's heard that the bird is the word. Okay, now I'm done. Look at this. It's a whole abandoned forest town. Silos, a factory, even a tall building. And all of it completely walled in. Lonely Places is right. It's like an entire community that was once thriving, left completely intact, but just overgrown. This is absolutely beautiful to look at, and it still just feels like something from a dream, rather than an actual abandoned place. Look, that graffiti is actually on a train car stopped above the tunnel. Well, I guess we're gonna have to enter sooner or later, but I can delay that for as long as possible, right? This has such a cool, like, rural industrial abandonment vibe going on. This is what I love in maps. It's surreal and yet still so detailed and realistic. It looks so different from different angles, and there's plenty of room for the eyes to wander, take in different aspects of it. And this tunnel is so much shorter than it looks like from a distance. At first it almost seems like a rail tunnel, and then you realize it's barely tall enough for a truck. From the sticks to the city, and no less empty. All the windows closed or boarded. It almost feels like a movie set and everybody's gone to lunch. Or to Rapture. Anything down here? There sure is. In fact, it's the only way to go. It's like a mall, but not. A street, but enclosed, like a secret city hidden beneath the first one. And that light coming through there is like coming upon an ajar door at a hallway. Clothes still hanging from the balconies like people lived here. And yet these doors, these windows are absolutely massive. What do you think? Something new, or does it take us to someplace familiar? Suppose it depends on what you mean by familiar. But we have come full circle. Wait, what? Oh, that's just a row of grass in the shadow. I thought there was maybe a body there that had fallen from above, something that wasn't there before. You know, I'm really glad it hit us with the more disturbing imagery, the more visceral early on, because it makes me expect it in the absence of it. You always get the feeling that something really horrible is just around the corner, where you might interpret this either as unnerving or as a wonderland, that there's time now. Of course. Can't have a single map without you, can we? Wait, is that a usable door? It is. Oh, it is not like in the school. It's a whole parallel cityscape almost. Actually, it's like some kind of artistic puzzle game. It actually sort of reminds me of like an LED Nissan C. Look at that. It actually uses black and white surfaces to create a sense of depth. Okay, this map is so much more than the humble little bundle of brushes that I thought it would be. Like an amphitheater. What happens if we fall into the void? That's the next question. Or at least what I assume to be the void. Can we walk out over here? Look at that! We've exited right out. Wait, maybe we can... Hang on. Yes. Yes, it was always working like that. It was always working like that, and because of our perspective, we didn't even notice. Ah, that is so cool. Those two things so far apart are connected in that way. What about you? Oh my god. That made my stomach sink. That is so cool. Do we leave just like this? Oh, there is a wall here. Do we just feel our way along the edge? Oh, seeing that parallax movement is insane. There's actually some certain 3D element to it. For a second, it almost felt like I was walking downstairs. I have no idea. Oh, look. There we are. That was beautiful and existentially terrifying simultaneously. In other words, would do again. Alright, let's run through this like a music video. Whoa. You know, I ran in, saw the bricks, heard the flames, immediately thought I was in a pizza oven. And it looks and sounds like there's a war going on out there. There's a teleport through here. But is that really the way we want to take? Man, these ideas seem so disconnected, but somehow the unifying thought is the idea that there must be a unifying thought. Okay. We should probably get out of here before somebody drops a bomb on us. Wait, it is so hard to do this. Oh. We're in the dark rooms now. Tight, ashen walls. Okay, I can see a light from above. We must be reaching something soon. Oops. Gonna make me crouch again. And it's not enough to crouch enough. You have to crouch low enough that the game considers you crouching. Look, there's something up there. We're back to those darkened streets, on the other side of the fence from you. Okay, we're at the point where we're starting to see the familiar again. Our synapses are starting to cross. Ideas are starting to cross over again, which is when we start making sense of the dreamer, at least when we get closer to waking up. It feels like if I reach in here, I could solve a puzzle. Were this a Silent Hill game or something? I don't know if we've yet encountered a locked door. But it's just a room inside a room inside a room. We're back! Hey, look at that! After all this time, we made it back to where we were first cast down. Can we try and make it? Yep! We did make it that time. We were pulled down before. I think we were exceptionally lucky to survive that, and look, here we are, back here at the beginning. And I never would have thought that in that time we'd have had the experiences that we did. I came in expecting a very different kind of map than what we got. But maybe that's the point, to have no expectations. After all, any genre is inherently tinged by the expectations an audience has going in. Actually, I may have just realized something. Is one door slightly shorter than the other? If so, I don't know why that's bothering me so much. Is there anything more here? Wow, I'm actually shocked there's nothing around the corners. But I think there just might be something beneath the waves. Alright, let's hold our breath. Right here! Huh, I didn't even realize there was a space there. Wouldn't have unless we had come through this way. But that hallway there is still unexplored. For now. That's what this world is to me, just places I haven't explored running away. And me chasing them down, yelling, I'm gonna explore ya. There's nothing they can do to save themselves. Yep. It's an old desert fort. Kind of reminds me of Amnesia Rebirth. The one common theme of this map is that there's always been depictions of cities. Cities in different contexts and settings, in different states, but always cities. Empty, desolate streets to walk down, no sound but our footsteps in the wind. And of course, always enclosed. We can't go out that way. Is this place a dead end? Look at that, we came out of the well. Like an old curse. Strangely, this seems to be one of the few dead ends. But I guess back down we go. Yeah, that bucket's full now. I guess, though, this is our invitation to start seeing some of the things we didn't before. In some ways, this street seems to act as a hub. Everything connects to it, even if you can't necessarily traverse it so easily. So where does this door lead? Oh. Look at that. Somehow the chain link out onto nothing is so much worse than narrow walls. It's like I can feel this thing wobbling, how rickety it is. Why do I feel like they've been expecting me? Like this is something I've been avoiding. Wait, is there something there? No, it's just piles of trash. I wasn't sure if that was a body. Of course. That instant change of tone as soon as I arrived, as soon as I was in its sight. You get the feeling that whatever this is, whatever this represents, it's at the center of everything we've been going through. Also, that is a giant can. Have I done something I shouldn't have? I can actually hear the occasional sound of skidding tires. But as before, there's no one around, and the cars are very evidently not in any shape to go anywhere. And here we are, right back here. Okay, so what happens if we actually stick to our original plan and go this way then? So much weight immediately thrust on us, and then to have it instantly dissolve the second we try to round the corner. We actually can't go any further this way. Oh, hey, there's an openable door here as well. There's always some kind of descent. Look at that, the caves beneath the city, pipes crisscrossing each other. It feels like there's something crawling down here. An old building that shouldn't be. Like the city was buried on top of it. Look, it's toppled on its side. This is where this ended up. This is the end of this hall. This map is crazy. Look, I thought we were climbing up into like a jagged window that maybe we wouldn't be able to get up this way. I had no idea we were climbing into the underside of an overturned building beneath a city. Speaking of beneath a city. Good work. But I can't continue any further. Just like a dream, there's invisible walls and, I guess, arbitrary points of no return. And also, let's not forget, we had to dig down deep to get here, very deep, only to emerge onto street level. That is really, really creepy. You eventually just start to take each environment as its own separate world, essentially. But there's still some place we've got to go. Still one place I know of that we have not fully explored. Okay, maybe two places, because I had not tried these doors yet. An old manor hall. And despite having 2 floors and 4 sides each, there is only one other set of doors. Although one can't say it doesn't lead anywhere. Look. Those old-time stone streets hiding a neon nightclub that's totally silent. To have all the color but none of the life is an extremely strange combination. However, there are some buttons we can press. And somehow that only makes it a little bit better since we're the only ones here. I almost feel like that noise is gonna bring something, like something's gonna peek its head in through that door. Okay, let's get out of here before I get a copyright strike. I have no idea if any of this is actually gonna be usable or not. Let's go. Whoa, look at that! There was always another door, one that led to... Ah, that music is so cool given this imagery. I hope I can use it. Oh, it's just playing over the game. Now there's only one place left to check. This is actually the one city we've been to with chirping birds. That actually has some ambiance other than total desolation. There's no one here, but I don't know, it actually feels more just like everyone hasn't woken up yet rather than is gone for good. We've got vendors' tables set up with fresh fruits and vegetables. I'm looking all over to see if any of these doors are openable. It doesn't look like it so far. All except for one. And I should have known. The one door left on the map, the one that we left behind in the beginning. So, that was GM Lonely Places. And what a pleasant surprise. I really didn't think there was going to be too much to this one, given how scant the description was and how it almost seemed to downplay what this map even was. But there's clearly a ton of ideas here. Definitely more inspiration than it would have let on from the casual nature of the description. Sure, maybe it was just stream of consciousness that led this map to become what it did rather than any overall vision. But even if that is the case, you can still examine it based on the commonalities. Empty streets, most of them definitely portrayed in a negative way, with that ominous wind, the lack of all other ambient sounds. And finally coming upon that pillar where there's such a sense of dread, a weight in the ambient sounds that we just didn't get anywhere else. And yet, getting in that car from the dark London streets into here, the one place that feels more inviting, Something inspired that, I feel like. This map had a tremendous amount of variety, and it actually wielded that sort of like a weapon, making sure that each area wasn't a self-contained experience, but rather the harsh, abrupt transitions between them is very much a part of its identity. I don't know, I would really, really love to learn more about it, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it as well. Whoa, wait, there's still one more place we haven't seen. There's a place we haven't seen. Let me up there. We never opened these doors behind us. We never tried to. The Rosebush Gallery. We never even tried this, and from what I've seen, nothing really connects onto it. But wait, there's more. Wait, no. There are open doors here. We've been here before. We just missed this. One turn of the neck and we would have come right back to the start. That is so weird. And that is a great place, I think, to try for a no-clip run. What else can I even say? This is just so cool to look at. Look how many flights of stairs that is. It's so enclosed that it never really felt like we were going too far, especially since every few floors we were exploring something new off to the sides. But it really is almost the entire height of the map, and this is a tall, tall map. Once again, there is a tremendous variety of biomes and locations, and look, each one almost feels like it could be its own map in its own right. There are so many of these things that, like, I'll walk around a corner, get to some place that we saw in the beginning, and I'll be like, oh, hey, it's this place. It's been like 15 minutes since I've seen that. And then some of these things, I'm looking down at them, and I'm like, did I do that today? It has actually really distorted my sense of time in an odd sense. And I think this has been one of my shorter videos to record. I think it's only been like an hour and a half, and I took a break. I think it was enhanced by the fact that the description sort of primed me to expect very little. It starts out almost feeling like a more generic exploration map, but the more you play, the more you feel that there's something behind it. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this map out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.